GT40 this metal came from is the most famous of all of them, and the GT40 is an iconic car anyway. I mean, it really is a beautiful looking car, very successful racing car back into the late 1960s. The car this metal came from, this wheel spinner, is chassis number 1075, and the special thing about that is that car won Le Mans in both 1968 and 1969, back to back. But it was developed by John Wyer, a chap called John Wyer, who used to have Aston Martin pedigree. He had a company, and he was asked by Ford to develop the car into a racing car, and he did with obviously great success.
What we really wanted to achieve here was to make you feel you own a piece of the car. Feeling was all about the motorsport. It was all about make a revival of a legend and make them feel in connection with this great race and this great car.
What I do, sourcing metal from famous cars and aeroplanes and so on, often there's a lot of luck involved. Sometimes you can spend days, weeks chasing down a piece, phoning people, going from lead to lead to try and chase metal down from a very famous car. And I was lucky with this component that I acquired it from a gentleman who worked for John Wyer, who ran the racing team in 68 and 69. He worked for the company in the 70 and 71, 1970, 1971. And he got this single wheel spinner, as they call it, knockoff nut, from a gentleman who was an engineer or mechanic on the team in 1969.
The car, of course, is just unique. It got unique color codes. It got a unique shape. Still one of the best-looking supercars that compete Le Mans ever. So the watch is all about the car. All the inspiration we could take from the car, and the car has a lot of unique bits. Starting by the dial. The dial on a watch is a measurement tool, and the quickest and the best nod we could find in the car is try to look at the dashboard of the car. We were finding there all the codes about the hands, about the colors of the dial. So all the dial is all about the dashboard. And this time we laser cutted the TMB metal to see the movement. We take the inspiration of the wheels because that's where the metal comes from, and we protected it with a sapphire glass, so it's preserved for a long time.
Back when I was 10, giving my age away, in 1968, my dad took me to a motor race. It was the BOEC 500 at Brands Hatch, and I still remember it now. We were in the grandstand, and I remember the noise, and I remember the smell, the fantastic smell these cars made. But a weird thing to actually have this piece of original metal in my hand that was on that car when I saw it so many years ago. So that's why, with these sort of things, one makes the decision to actually, okay, you're going to just destroy it by cutting it up, melt it down, and turning it into using parts for watches, and that way perpetuate its memory. That's the way I look at it, rather than just make a piece which could sit on the desk somewhere and be forgotten about almost. By this way, we're actually perpetuating its memory by turning it into a very special edition of just 40 watches. Because it's such an unusual design, if someone's wearing that watch, it's going to get noticed. When it gets noticed, you've got that great fact that there's only 40 of them, and B, it's got an original piece of metal from the car, the one in 68 and 69.
We couldn't find a lot of metal, so you have to respect the car, you have to respect the history of the car and try to bring the best of it in the watch.
If there was hundreds of tons of this metal around, and it wouldn't have, it still has the same history, but it wouldn't have the same charisma somehow. For me, it is the fact that we've only got one spinner, and I don't think we'll ever get any more metal off 1075, so it's that limiting factor.
If I had to pick 3 words for this watch, it would be legend, unique, and timeless.